Impermanence. Autumn clouds. At his monastery in Nepal, my master's oldest living disciple, the great Dilko Khyentse Rinpoche, had come to the end of a teaching. He was one of the most foremost teachers of our time, the teacher of many other masters who looked to him as an inexhaustible treasure house of wisdom and compassion. We all looked up at this gentle, glowing mountain of a man, a scholar, a poet, and mystic who had spent 22 years of his life in retreat. He paused and gazed into the distance. I am now 78 years old and have seen so many things during my lifetime. So many young people have died. So many people of my own age have died. So many old people have died. So many people that were high up have become low. So many people that were low have risen to be high up. So many countries have changed. There has been so much turmoil and tragedy, so many wars and plagues, so much terrible destruction all over the world. And yet, all these changes are no more real than a dream. When you look deeply, you realize there is nothing that is permanent and constant. Nothing, not even the tiniest hair on your body. And this is not a theory, but something you can actually come to know and realize and see, even with your very own eyes. I ask myself often, why is it that everything changes? And only one answer comes back to me. That is how life is. Nothing at all has any lasting character. The Buddha said, "This existence of ours is as transient as autumn clouds. To watch the birth and death of beings is like looking at the movements of a dance. A lifetime is like a flash of lightning in the sky, pushing by like a torrent down a steep mountain." One of the chief reasons we have so much anguish and difficulty facing death is that we ignore the truth of impermanence. We so desperately want everything to continue as it is that we have to believe that things will always stay the same. But this is only make-believe. And as we so often discover, belief has little or nothing to do with reality. This make-belief, with its misinformation, ideas, and assumptions, is the rickety foundation on which we construct our lives. No matter how much the truth keeps interrupting, we prefer to go on trying, with hopeless bravado, to keep up our pretense. In our minds, changes always equal loss and suffering, and if they come, we try to anesthetize ourselves as far as possible. We assume stubbornly and unquestioningly that permanence provides security and impermanence does not. But in fact, impermanence is like some of the people we meet in life. Difficult and disturbing at first, but on deeper acquaintance, far friendlier and less unnerving than we could have imagined. Reflect on this. The realization of impermanence is paradoxically the only thing that we can hold on to. Perhaps our only lasting possession. It is like the sky or the earth. No matter how much everything around us may change or collapse, they endure. Say we go through a shattering emotional crisis. Our whole life seems to be disintegrating. Our husband or wife suddenly leaves us without warning. The earth is still there. The sky is still there. Of course, even the earth trembles now and again, just to remind us we cannot take anything for granted. Even Buddha died. His death was a teaching. to shock the naive, the indolent, and the complacent, to wake up to the truth that everything is impermanent and death is an inescapable fact of life. As he was approaching death, the Buddha said, "Of all footprints, that of the elephant is supreme. Of all the mindfulness meditations, that on death is supreme." Whenever we lose our perspective or fall prey to laziness, reflecting on death and impermanence shakes us back into the truth. What is born will die. What has been gathered will be dispersed. What has been accumulated will be exhausted. What has been built up will collapse. And what has been high will be brought low. The whole universe, scientists now tell us, is nothing but a change, activity, and process, a totality of flux that is the ground of all things. Every subatomic interaction consists of the annihilation of the original particles and the creation of new subatomic particles. The subatomic world is a continual dance of creation and annihilation, of mass changing into energy, and energy changing into mass. Transient forms sparkle in and out of existence, creating a never-ending, forever newly created reality. What is our life but this dance of transient forms? Isn't everything always changing? The leaves on the trees in the park, the light in your room as you read this, the seasons, the weather, the time of day, the people passing you in the street. And what about us? Doesn't everything we have done in the past seem like a dream now? The friends we grew up with, the childhood haunts, those views and opinions we once held with such single-minded passion, we have left them all behind. Now, at this moment, reading this book seems vividly real to you. Even this page will soon be only a memory. The cells of our body are dying. The neurons in our brain are decaying. Even the expression on our face is always changing, depending on our mood. What we call our basic character is only a mind stream, nothing more. Today we feel good because things are going well. Tomorrow we feel the opposite. Where did that good feeling go? New influences took us over as circumstances changed. We are impermanent. The influences are impermanent. And there is nothing solid or lasting anywhere that we can point to. What could be more unpredictable than our thoughts and emotions? Do you have any idea what you're going to think or feel next? Our mind, in fact, is as empty, as impermanent, and as transient as a dream. Look at a thought. It comes, it stays, it goes. The past is past, the future not yet risen. And even the present thought, as we experience it, becomes a past. The only thing we really have is nowness, is now. Sometimes, when I teach these things, a person will come up to me afterwards and say, "All of this seems obvious. I've always known it. Tell me something new." I say to him or her, "Have you actually understood and realized the truth of impermanence? Have you so integrated it with your every thought, breath, and movement that your life has been transformed?" Ask yourself these two questions. Do I remember at every moment that I am dying, and everyone and everything else is, and so treat all beings at all times with compassion? Has my understanding of death and impermanence become so keen and so urgent that I am devoting every second to the pursuit of enlightenment? If you can answer yes to both of these, then you have really understood impermanence.